What is up? What is up? It's the cocktail hour. It's myself. It's Chase. I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw your name out here, I thought it was Ramon Sessions, the NBA journeyman point guard that we're having on tonight, man.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that I'm not him. I mean, I want to leave that mystique out there that I might be him.
You might have played in the NBA, had a cup of tea in the NBA.
Yeah, I might have. I might have.
Um, dude, like I don't know if I told you this, but I got to stand up in the wedding, and I'm the only SOB that didn't play in the NBA. So like
You
literally,
mentioned
like, dude, I'm 6'2", and I'm gonna be looking like freaking a midget.
Yeah.
like it's gonna be boom, 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 and then me. It's like
Are
it's gonna be pretty
are
cool.
are they at least stair stepping you guys, or are they moving you? Are they putting you like awkwardly in the middle of all these guys? Like you just kind of like you
Just
know went
just
to the hole in the
because.
middle of a wedding.
Well, here all these guys are. Like these guys are all multimillionaires. Like just insane. Like all
Yeah.
multimillionaires.
Yeah.
And when the NBA All-Star game was here in Chicago a couple years ago, um, you know, the dude who, of course, the guy with the most amount of money, because that's how they are, is the cheapest mofo in the thing. We go
Right.
to
Right.
the steakhouse out here. I'm looking at everything. I'm like adding up in my head. This dude, the bill comes, and he's all given the perception like he's got it, he's got it, he's got it, he's got it. He breaks out his freaking iPhone and starts breaking down to the penny how much all the fucking owe. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, listen, dude, you have how many NBA championships? You have an
Yeah.
NCAA championship. Your net worth is well over 20 million.
Yeah.
And you're penny pinching me for like a 20, like freaking like 175 bucks for a dinner. It's like, come on, dude. So like those
You
guys
can cover that grass-fed Wagyu, dog. Like that's how I feel.
those with those guys being dicks, they're gonna put me in a position where I look duffed up. I'm already mentally preparing for that.
You're already, yeah.
I'm already mentally, and I'm like, dude, this is day 9 of like no bread, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
So already you're on edge because I don't know about
Dude.
you. If I don't get my toast, then I'm
Dude,
probably
I'm like locked in. It's like I'm like Rocky training for Ivan Drago just to go to this wedding.
nice. Nice.
Just,
You're up in Chicago in the cold in a cabin doing one-arm push-ups, chopping wood.
you know what? You're gonna have to come here. You can come down to my garage, sit in a buggy, and I can start shoulder pressing you, dude. And you can just be yelling again.
Oh God!
Dude,
Part of me thinks if we just sent Stallone to the Ukraine, we could have solved this problem weeks ago.
Absolutely monstrous day in sports. And a couple weeks ago, you and I were talking, and we were talking if teams were going to start copying what the Rams did. And I think we saw that first domino. The Broncos traded Shelby Harris, Noah Fant, Drew Lock, 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, and a 5th-rounder for Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick.
Yeah.
Wow. So a lot of layers. The first thing that I'm thinking is this. Like Schefter tweeted that out, and he said this has been in the works for a couple weeks. Now, with Nathaniel Hackett's history, he's not going to get that job unless he's kind of like, hey, I got, Rodgers, old A-Rod's coming with me. Because, like, if you look at his track record as an OC, it's not that impressive.
Right.
Right. Dude, this is a lot, man. You look, the Rams gave up Goff, 2 firsts, and a 3rd for Stafford.
Right.
This is a lot. Where's your head on this little trade bomb, this little Schefter bomb that dropped today?
I was watching like John Mulaney's his monologue from Saturday Night Live the other day, and he's talking about how while he was in rehab, like they did this exercise called breaking up with your drug dealer, where you had to like block like your old drug dealer and be like, hey, like I'm sober now, don't contact me anymore. I feel like that's what they're doing with John Elway and draft picks. Is they're just like, we're saving you from yourself. We're blocking you from the draft. We're only gonna give way too much. I want us to get that on the record. Way too much for known entities.
It is way too much. And you think about it, my issue is this is as anyone like as you probably know, and I like big men. I like football's won in the trenches. Shelby Harris is one of the best defensive linemen in the game. And you're losing your best guy at the point of attack, and you're in a league, in a division that has Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and you know what? The Raiders, they're improving. You know, they were better than I thought they would be last year. Derek Carr is a seasoned vet. O-line has got better toward the way when the year started progressing. I don't know, man. I'm thinking I'm going to play Denver not to make the playoffs and the under.
I kind of like that, quite honestly. I mean, yeah, you said it. Like you're kind of gonna want to tackle those guys that you're going against in the AFC West, like which has now just become insane in terms of how much quarterback talent they have, regardless of how you feel about Dangerous. But like, man, I don't know. It's too much. I mean, also Noah Fant, you gave up Noah Fant too at the same time. Like, how fleeced can you possibly get? Like, I understand they had a blueprint of what they did with like Peyton Manning, but you know what? Like Peyton Manning was released and they just picked him up. Like they didn't like sell. They didn't fire sale the entire team to get Peyton Manning. So like it feels like they're trying to force themselves into something that won for them previously, just like, but doing it by any means necessary, not realizing how hamstrung they've just left themselves.
And let's be honest, like it's not like Wilson has been all that the last couple of years. I really think like people have kind of fell in love with the name, and that's where people are kind of getting this stuff. I mean, let's just go through the quarterbacks in the AFC. You tell me if you think Wilson's better.
Okay.
Josh Allen.
No.
Mac Jones.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, I'm not even going to ask you about two. I'm just going to say yes.
Agree.
Not even going to ask you about Zach Wilson. I'm just going to say yes.
Agree.
Joe Burrow.
No.
Okay.
No.
Mason Rudolph. I'll say yes, just because
yes.
We don't know what's gonna happen. Baker Mayfield. I'm gonna say it's better. I'm gonna say it's better.
It's tight. That's sad because it's dicey. It's dicey, that answer.
Lamar Jackson, a healthy Lamar.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Ryan Tannehill.
No.
Carson Wentz. I'm gonna say he's better than Wentz.
Yeah, I will always say. Yeah, I have a very, very low opinion of Carson Wentz.
Me too. Now, I'm gonna assume Deshaun Watson is playing.
Sure.
He's not better than Deshaun Watson.
No, he's not.
No. Trevor Lawrence.
Jury's out. Incomplete.
I'm going to say yes. I mean, Lawrence looked like a nightmare last year. So right now, yeah, he is.
Okay.
Mahomes, no.
No.
Carr, I'm going to say yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Herbert, no.
No.
And then he plays for Denver, so I count 8.
Yeah. That's not exactly like, top flight.
You know what I mean? Like that's a lot of stuff. And is he really the missing piece? I mean, that O-line's a train wreck. You know, you got to give him time to develop, the play to develop and everything. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. And then on the flip side of that, I'm hearing all these fantasy guys hype up Cortland Sutton, hype up Jerry Judy, hype up Tim Patrick. As someone that has been a DK Metcalf owner 2 years in a row, I can tell
Same.
you, you know what I mean?
Same.
I can tell you. I can tell you.
Yeah.
Trying to tamper
There's
those
no
expectations.
reason that the human bat suit shouldn't be scoring 100 touchdowns a year, quite honestly. DK
Dude,
Metcalf.
I
Yeah.
mean, the dude is absolutely insane with what he can do.
Yeah.
And you're just not throwing him the ball. I wonder, do you think they move him now? Do you think they just go total rebuild?
I'm not sure if they do. I don't know. I
Because
I
you
don't
think
know.
about it, like the Ravens need a wide receiver, the Lions need a wide receiver, the Bears need a wide receiver. There's a lot of teams that need that wide receiver one. I wonder if they move him.
If you can get someone who can spin it and that's your quarterback, because I got to think that there's no way they're going with Drew Lock. I can't. I don't see it. I don't see them getting Drew Lock. So if you can get someone, if you somehow through free agency or through the draft get someone who
So
can
like Mitch,
spin
like
it,
a Mitch Trubisky type.
like the truth, yeah, like the
True. Yeah.
truth,
Yeah.
yeah. That's then maybe you keep him. Otherwise, I don't know. It doesn't. I mean, Pete Carroll seems to be stuck in like turn of the century, like when he was winning championships at USC. Like I'm going to run the ball first in a pass first league, and I don't know. I don't know what he's planning, and I don't know. I feel like the Broncos might also be taking on like a locker room headache because I I've heard that like the guys that play with Russ like really just don't like Russ. Like they kind of think he's a dick.
I can see that. I can kind of see people not liking him and kind of him coming off, a little dickish,
Yeah.
just because I don't know. And then there's all these rumors like Carroll like got rid of Sherman because Sherman and Russ got into it, and I don't know. I would just tamper my expectations. I'm seeing everyone tweet out, Broncos futures and everything. I'm gonna go the opposite way. I'm gonna
Is
totally
Nathaniel Hackett going to have Will Ferrell in to cool everybody out? No, that only happens in Seattle.
I'm just gonna taper my expectations. I'm gonna say Broncos don't make the playoffs. I'll bet the under win total because they'll probably be at 9.
I'll say they don't even improve from last season. That they don't win
Ooh.
more than another game than they
Ooh.
did with Steady Teddy.
Steady Teddy, two glove Teddy,
Two
two
Teddy
glove.
two gloves. Yes, I think,
What happens if Teddy Two Gloves goes to Seattle?
and just wreck shit. That's what I'd love to see. I would
Dude,
love. That would be so great. That would be amazing.
Because let me paint a picture for you.
Mhm.
Okay, we have the Arizona Cardinals.
Mhm.
It's basically you got Murray and the front office like basically fighting right now on social media because Murray wants money. A little bit of a train wreck.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. A little bit.
You got the San Francisco 49ers who are moving on to Trey Lance. Started 2 games. We really don't know what we have. Question mark.
Yep.
You have Geno's Rams, who it seems like they have 28 free agents.
Right.
OBJ tore his MCL. Woods had a serious injury. Allen, the offensive lineman, is a free agent. And Whitworth could be retiring.
Right.
So, I mean, and they got guys on the defensive end. So you kind of sit back and look, you put someone stable there. They improve the offensive line, gets a couple defensive dudes. Seattle could be a little interesting.
What's another name for stable? Steady.
Steady Teddy.
Steady Teddy. Let Steady Teddy do this damn thing. I love Teddy Bridgewater. I do. I don't know what it is. Does he have necessarily the numbers to like back up my love? No. I don't know. I've always had a soft spot for Teddy Bridgewater. I think it was when he got his knee blowed up playing for the Vikings. I was just like, you know what? He was gonna be something, I think. And then
my soft spot for Teddy came when I was always just betting Louisville minus the points for the first half.
right.
I mean, his last year, you want to talk about a truck bet? That bet was just boom, 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 boom. God, that's when Teddy got in my heart.
Right.
It was
Right.
making me money.
It's the fastest way to a gambler's heart right there.
Fastest way. You win me money, I love you.
Yeah.
You lose me money, good old Uncle Rico over here is not a fan of you.
That's right. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You son of a bitch, you're dead to us.
The other big one, and if you just kind of sit back and look at it and just kind of separate yourself from the situation, it makes sense to me that Rodgers is staying in Green Bay. What do you think?
Yeah. No, it totally makes sense. It completely makes sense. I don't think it made sense for him to start everything last year. It completely makes sense for him to come back this year. I'm just so done. I'm so done with Aaron Rodgers. Like, I'm just done with him as a human being. Like, I'm just like, all right, you're a trash person, and you are completely irredeemable in my eyes. Like, I don't know. I think he's a weird dude, and as a fellow kind of weird dude, like I understand that, but like, I don't know, just like going on the McAfee show, the whole like alternative COVID thing, like, I'm just done with you, buddy.
See, this is going to be a thing that's going to blow people away. It'll probably blow you away. It may tarnish our friendship.
Sure.
I don't like Pat McAfee. I don't like old Patty Boy. I find that guy so effing annoying. And it's like everyone I talk to loves him. I can't fucking stand him.
I don't mind that take in the slightest. Like, I can completely see that. Like, I think when he tells, like, he has a couple funny stories about playing in the NFL, and then outside of that, he's a little bit outside of his depth. And like, I agree. Like, the steez gets a little annoying after a while.
Yeah, it gets really annoying, and I just can't. I don't know. And then like, mine comes from there'd be those Thursday night games on ESPN, and they brought him on, and he was so goddamn annoying. And it's funny, like, people hate watching games with me, and I actually started doing this because of goddamn effing Pat McAfee. I watch games now on mute. Like, I don't listen. I have the sound off, and like, it's kind of helped me become a better gambler just because like I'm watching the game and not listening to what other people are saying.
To other people's opinions. Yeah.
So it's kind of helped my gambling a little bit. In terms of, let's just go through the NFC, because this is, when you really look at this is absolutely mind-boggling. This is what I want to tell. This is my question to you.
Okay.
Let's come up with the top 5 teams in the NFC.
Whew, okay.
All right. So, I mean, number 1, it's either going to be the Packers or the Rams.
I would agree. Yeah.
Number 3, Cowboys. Because here's the thing. Eagles, you have Jalen Hurts as your quarterback.
Yeah.
The second half of the season, I like what they did. They started running the ball more, which was great. But the coaching staff did panic in the playoffs and abandon the run game a little bit too early.
True.
Washington has no quarterback, and their defense vastly underapproved last year. Giant, Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
A guy that is first head coaching job. Minnesota Vikings, new coaching staff, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins, unforgivable.
Bears hired a coach was the defensive coordinator of the Colts that couldn't come up with a game plan to stop the Jaguars in the last game of the year.
Trouble.
So Lions trending in the right direction, potential playoff team.
True. Agree.
We have Jared Goff. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, no idea what's going on in the quarterback position.
No clue. Yeah.
Your Saints, new coach, no idea what's going on in the quarterback position.
None. Zero clue.
Falcons probably have one of the more stable quarterback positions in the NFL right now, in the NFC right now. As crazy.
Sad to admit, but correct. Yes.
Carolina, I mean, Darnold,
God knows what's going to happen there.
Jay Walker, Sam Darnold, what?
Yeah.
No offensive line.
And possibly no McCaffrey.
Yeah, because he's on the trade market now too.
Yep.
But with how many games he missed, does it really make a difference? Like, you know
Nope.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
um, and we've mentioned the Cardinals, the whole thing with Murray. We don't know what's going on there. 49ers, Lance, Seattle just traded Russ. I mean, are the Atlanta Falcons the fourth best team right now, as like right now in the NFC?
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I mean, no, it's a league that's built off of quarterback play. It's a
yeah,
league that's built off of quarterback play. So you give me any other team that's more stable at the quarterback position other than the ones that we've already mentioned. There's
like
not one.
there's not one. So like the Falcons right now. So what was it? What did we give out to our first episode? 60-1. If you guys took that 60-1, you're welcome.
Yeah.
I mean, you're welcome. If you know J-Lo, give her my phone number. That's all you can. That's how you can thank me.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
dude. Yeah, she still got it. She still got it. I saw it in the I've seen Hustlers and I've seen the halftime show from last year, and damn it, she still got it.
you know what? I hate to change to J-Lo, but one of the guys that's in this wedding, and like I can't say the names just because I'm associated with gambling, and like we saw the Ridley stuff, which I'll get to later.
Sure.
He's out in LA for the summer, and he's telling the story. He's like, his trainer sent him a message. It was like, yeah, you're gonna want to get here about like a little early, like 15 to 20 early today. And he's like, why? He's like, no, dude, trust me.
Just
Trust me.
Just
He's
get
like,
here.
trust me, get here early. He tells the story. He comes in, and J-Lo is in the place working out. Okay. Now, this is a guy that, he's been on some teams with some good players. He's been in the gym with some dudes that are well known.
Right.
And he's like, she works out harder than NBA players do.
She keeps it tight, man.
He did. He's like, it was insane what she was doing. Like, just boom, 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 just nonstop.
Yeah.
Nonstop. And still sweating like no other, going on minute 49, the hottest chick he's ever seen in his life.
Listen, to go from in living color fly girl to international superstar, you gotta put in that work.
Dude, I mean, he flat, like, God. I'm gonna have to have him tell the story, and then I'll get a voice distorter because I'm not doing it justice. Like, he said it was insane. He said it was absolutely positively insane seeing J-Lo work out.
Meanwhile, Shakira has never worked out a day in her life, and she only eats spiced meats like cut off of that spinning thing, in just true Argentinian fashion.
I mean, dude.
Shakira.
God, I remember we would always listen to She Wolf before we go out for like 1 month, maybe 2 months, like years ago. I have no idea. Me and my roommate would always like be like, okay, let's get her going. We'd always like couple shots. We'd bust out a little She Wolf, dude. Jesus, you want to talk about a random song we listened to before we go? No, like fucking She Wolf. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I regress, dude. All right, so we got the Falcons as team 4. Falcons as team 4.
Right.
Boy, that's a good transition, Matt, from J-Lo to Matt Ryan.
Yeah, natural even.
Team 5. I mean, this is where it gets dicey because this is like, here's the thing, guys. Like, this is where you can try to start locking in value. Like, I knocked in the Falcons at 60-1. That means if stuff stays the way it is, I'm going to have them for a home game. That big of a price, easy hedge, profit made. I'm done.
Right.
So this is how you guys have to be thinking. I mean, I don't know. Like, so is the 5th best team the Cards, the Niners, the football team, or the Eagles?
It pains me to say it, and it really does, because I don't know. I've had this just like feeling with this team for a while, for the last couple seasons. It's the Niners. Yeah. I think it's the Niners. I know they're going with Trey Lance. I'm still not sure if that was a good draft pick or not, but honestly, I feel like anything's an improvement over Garoppolo.
See, that's the thing. Like, and I've gone back and forth a lot of people. And now, as a Lions fan, now keep in mind, Lions fan.
Yeah, sure.
You give me a quarterback that has gotten to a Super Bowl
Right.
and an NFC Championship game,
Yeah.
dude. He's the freaking mayor, man. Like,
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Yeah.
like his nickname is the mayor, dude. Like, that's what we're calling the guy. What up, mayor? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but part of me wonders if Shanahan's the problem there, though.
Yeah, that strongly could be the issue. That 100% could be the issue. The moment gets too big for him, and he just seems to piss down his leg in big games. Like, and it goes back to being a coordinator too. Like, I don't know. I don't know
So
if he just gets too cute or what the deal is.
I think he just gets too cute. I think like some of these guys, and I think this was your boy Sean Payton's problem, and I'm sorry to say this.
Yeah.
I think they want to prove how smart they are. You know what I mean? Like, look at me,
Yeah.
I'm smart. Instead of just saying, hey, let's just, line up Alvin Kamara on the outside, give him a swing pass, and just let him go to
Yeah.
work, man.
Or let's just pound the rock with Debo 30 times a game.
Yeah, just anything.
Yeah.
Shefty just tweeted out another longtime Seattle guy on the move, 8-time All-Pro and Pro Bowler Bobby Wagner is being released.
They're gutting this team.
This is a full-blown. This goes back to the thing we're just talking about.
Yeah.
Lockett's got to be on the move. DK is probably on the move.
Yeah.
This is a total just boom. You know what? I kind of like it.
They're going to have to rename the draft. They're going to have to rename the draft. It's no longer going to be called the NFL draft. This year it's going to be called Congratulations, you play for the Seahawks now.
They turn into the Thunder of the NBA. They're just like getting pick.
Just everybody.
So I'm going to read out some prices. Dude, these prices are absolutely insane to me. I'm looking at 49ers at 13-1, I think are a little too low. That's looking at the landscape of the NFC. Cowboys 14-1.
Also too low.
Cardinals 28-1. I don't want any business with the Cardinals just because I think Murray is not it. I don't think he's the answer at QB.
No. He's got that thing where he looks like a Pop Warner player, because to me, all Pop Warner players look like they have heads that are too big for their bodies whenever they're wearing a helmet. And so that just seals it for me.
The Buccaneers 28-1. We have no idea who the F their quarterback is.
Yeah, that could either be the best value that you've just read off or the worst value that you've just read off.
Now, if they get Deshaun, like, geez, that's a great value. That's insane value. Your Saints 34-1. Still no idea what's going on at the quarterback position.
Best bet in the house. No, I wouldn't touch it, quite honestly. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing as Tampa Bay. That could be the best bet or the absolute worst bet.
Yeah. The Vikings. Now, here's my thing with the Vikings. Now, you may not know this, but I like offensive line.
Sure.
And to me, the hands down, not even close, the best offensive line coach is Rick Dennison. What this guy's able to do with the zone blocking scheme, absolutely insane. For those who don't know, it was either 5, 6, or 7 games about 9-10 years ago, under the Rick Dennison zone blocking scheme, Isaiah Crowell was the leading rusher in the NFL. Isaiah Crowell, no disrespect to Isaiah Crowell, but he wasn't a top tier running back. So they're totally going to be switching schemes. And I think what Dennison brought to the table, now granted, I know he wasn't there last year, but all his groundwork was there because the whole COVID thing he did, like masks, whatever. I think that's going to be a big loss for them, offensive line, trench wise. And I think Cook's going to take a little bit of a hit. So I'm a little apprehensive of the whole Vikings thing.
Yeah. They still play games later than 3:00 p.m. right in the NFL, and the Vikings will have to play 1 or 2 of those games.
I mean, according I had this database I used. I think it was like Cousins was like 69% against the spread in 1 p.m. games. I mean, just a 1 p.m. god,
Yeah.
Corner TV. Scott Hansen never shifting his attention in Minnesota. That's where Kirk Cousins thrives.
Right. Right.
Eagles 44-1, man. And that's kind of tempting, dude. A little
I
tempting.
I mess with that. I feel like you have no idea what you could get out of the Eagles. You could have Jalen Hurts just take a massive step forward, and next thing you know, they're making a run.
But like here, sorry, here's the thing. They the second half of the year, I did this thing. They were running the ball 44 times a game. And like that's when they had their big jump
Yeah.
because they were putting like less pressure on excuse me, on Hurts. They were controlling the clock. Defense was off less. And the coach just panicked, dude. Like, if I were to tell you that I think they had like an early down success rate running the ball against the Buccaneers. I think it was like 70% of the time. They averaged 5 yards a carry against the Buccaneers. And they sacked Tom Brady 5 times. You would have told me they won that game in the playoffs.
Right.
So, but the coach abandoned the run. So I don't know. Like, I still have some questions about the coaching staff being a little too young.
I feel like him and also other other like Giants coaches of the past all have this one kind of phenomenon, which is they just have stupid faces and they look like stupid people. And so I'm not sure that it's not the case. Like he's very much got like dumb person face. And so, I mean, do you trust him? Do you trust someone who you look at and you're like, this is a dumb person?
I mean, I don't know. Like I just have my worries about the Nets, and I'm gonna call them the football team. And you know what? I'm gonna try to find a football team T-shirt. The Commanders at 50-1. I mean, they're all in on a quarter. They called and were offering stuff for Mahomes. So they're definitely trying to make a play.
Yeah.
If they imagine 50-1 trying to make a play, when do they get Watson?
I like the football team. I like the command of team. Like I like them. I like Riverboat Ron. I would 100% take that shot. Shoot or shoot, and I would take a shot with the football manders.
The football manders. Carolina's 55-1. No.
Nope.
Falcons are still 60-1, man. I think that's the best value on the board.
Shoot or shoot. Take it.
I really think that's the best value on the board. Bears 70-1. I'm not a big fan of this quarterback.
Yeah.
Not quarterback, excuse me, head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Lions 120-1.
You shut up and you take my money.
No respect, man. No respect. I'll tell you what. But here's the thing: like we just went through the whole NFC. You and I both agree it's very weak this year.
Yeah,
like I agree. There's no reason why this team cannot make the playoffs next year.
There's no reason they can't win a wild card and make a run. No reason.
I mean, they have a good offensive line, DeAndre Swift. Now just picture this, dude. Let's say they sign Allen Robinson, or I'm getting a little excited. They trade for DK Metcalf.
Ooh.
But you have St. Brown,
mm-hmm.
and Robinson. Let's say Allen Robinson because he's a free agent. They have money. Allen Robinson as your wide receivers. You have Josh Reynolds, who's a good 3. You have Cespedes from Wisconsin, who was tearing it up before he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You got Hawk as your tight end. You have arguably one of the better offensive lines in the NFC when healthy.
You have a head coach that'll eat your kneecaps like a goddamn chicken wing.
You have DeAndre Swift and Williams, the running back.
Yeah.
That's not a bad offense, dude.
Not at all.
Like you start looking, you're like, that's not that bad, man.
And they started showing it. That's the big thing is they started showing it like towards the end of the year. Like you saw what you started seeing what Amon-Ra St. Brown can do. Like they did well enough that he's now on people's like radar. Yeah, man. Yeah, there's no reason. There's no reason.
They're like a sneaky team. I know. I realize like, they're not going to win it unless something funky happens. But at that number, in my eyes, you're a fool if you not take that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, here's something. I had someone message me this, and I'll ask you this too. How did you get into gambling?
Um, so this might surprise people, but I used to be a little bit of a what Charles Barkley would call an athlete. I was athletic.
Okay.
I don't know, like for me it really started with horses. And it started after I could still like compete doing things. And it seemed like a way to actually still like keep competing and doing things. Like, especially with like horse racing because it's like parimutuel betting and like it's like, all right, like when I win, I'm taking your money because I was right and you were wrong, sort of
Yeah.
thing. The other thing is I am insanely ADHD. And which means like I love puzzles. Like I need
Yeah.
stimulation. I love focusing on puzzles, and every single bet you make is a puzzle that you have to figure out. And so that's the big thing. It's like I had to have a pep talk with a buddy of mine one time before we went to the casino. It's like, listen, we're both ADHD. We both love puzzles. Let's make sure we get out of this casino alive.
Okay.
We're never gonna figure out the puzzle that is the casino. Let's make sure we're wearing clothes when we leave.
I mean, for me, the town I grew up in had a tribal casino.
There we go.
And like now it's huge. It's like everywhere, huge places. I mean, dude, they had salt and pepper there 2 years ago. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the level we're talking at. I mean, they had a little salt and pepper.
The
So
envelope, the envelope, they push it. They push that envelope.
so I may have had a fake ID when I was younger. May have. You had to be 18 to get in there. And back then, this was like it was in a. You remember those things you go to school like a portable?
Yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
they had a portable room that was a blackjack room, a portable room that was a craps table. I mean, and you would have to literally go outside and go in. So here's me, like young and naive, and like I had my fake ID and like, mom, dad, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I don't kick the shit out of me next time I see you. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
I go in there and like, I got in, I was so pumped. There was this one like just random dude at a blackjack table. I was like, dude, I've never played blackjack before. You get to 21 and yeah, I knew how to play, but I've never, you know what I mean, never really played.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get down, I'm here. I like hit on a 17 and it was just me and this other dude at the table. And this dude looks over at me and he's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like that, like I'm like, oh dude, I'm trying to get 21. He's like, do you understand the dealer has a motherfucking 3 out? He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, look, dude, I go, this is my first time playing. He's like, do you want me to tell you what to do? I go, yeah. So I'm sitting there, we play a couple of hands. The dealer's shift after like 4 or 5 hands. This guy goes, okay, let's go. And I'm like, dude, why? He's like, let's go. And it was this guy named Brad. He was up from, of all places, Cleveland, Ohio. And he started talking to me. I told him like, about it. And I mean, dude, this was in high school. And like this guy basically told me like he bet sports for a living. Like that's what this guy did all the way back then.
Right.
And I mean, this was the old school days when those offshore places would give you a debit card.
Right.
And you just go in there and then you type it in and you do it like that. That's how old school this guy was. And he took me under his wings. He gave me his phone number and he's like, I'm going to give you an education. And you ready to get blown away? Still to this mother effing day, I talk to this guy like literally every day. And like he's so old school, he's got a flip phone. But dude, him and I talk, and like during the NFL season, dude, like him and I are on the phone. I think like at least 8 hours a week, man. I mean, what this guy has done for me, I can never repay him enough.
Have you
It was just a total random thing.
have you ever seen it's a P.T. Anderson movie? It came out before like Boogie Nights. Like this was his first like somewhat big movie. It's called Hard 8.
No.
You need to watch it because it's actually kind of similar to this.
Really?
Yes.
Dude, never even heard of it. No.
Yeah. It's got John C. Reilly. It's got Gwyneth Paltrow. You just need to check it out. That's awesome. Yeah, I see. That's the thing is like, I especially so just specifically with like horse racing. The reason I think like horse racing, a lot of people are saying it's dying, and I will somewhat agree to that. I think part of it is the drugs, the drugs, the juice that people are using, but also I think it's for me, like if I wanted to get an education in horse racing from someone who's been there before and someone who's done it, I had to search out strange men on the internet. You know what I'm talking about? Like I had to like meet people through like message boards.
And not in Craigslist, right?
Right. Yeah. No, just strange message boards filled with old men talking about horses. And so like you had to search it's so like uncommon now, but like with sports betting, like I don't know. I think that maybe this is what I think should be my takeaway from us talking about this is take someone under your wing, man. Like if you know what you're doing, show them the game.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, anyone that my DMs, especially the JLo, if you're watching, are always open. And like I'll always answer questions. I got people hitting me up all the time asking me like why I did this, why I do that. And I'm trying to help. You try to help, and that's what we're here for. So if you guys have any help or need any advice, DMs are always open. And the first key of advice we have if you're a professional athlete, do not download an app, input your name,
social
security number, address, bank account,
and then occupation more than likely,
and then bet on the league that you're playing in. What are you doing?
God,
like
have a fence. Go through a fence if you're gonna do this.
What are you doing? And here's the funny thing, the funny thing is, after this happened, I didn't know if you saw it, but on Twitter, you had all these Eagle fans adding the NFL, saying they seen Jalen Reagor bet on games. That's how much Eagle fans hate Jalen Reagor.
Yeah,
they're saying that he bets on games, just taking him out, which is kind of funny. But
dude, if you play for the Eagles and you're not going to perform, fucking be on your P's and Q's is all I can say. Because you were in a city of snitches.
I have an Eagle story I'll have to get to after we get to the. Actually,
here's my take on the Calvin Ridley thing. Yeah. Because he was like away from the team, it's not really that bad. But because he plays for the NFL, it's still really bad. That's the thing. Like it's still against. It's not against my personal rule. Like if he's not with the team, like if he's not actively playing for the team, and then I don't care. If you got inside info, you got inside info. That's something to be treasured. Like if you and I had inside info from somebody, that's just.
And speaking of inside info, I did tell you something that a little birdie told me that would happen in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
That's something.
That's just called being really good at sports gambling. But it's against the rules, and he should be punished because it's against the set rule. But to me, it's not against any sort of code, any sort of moral code, ethics code.
It's tough just because we can all do it, but he can't do it. Like it was just like hypothetically, let's say bet on the Thunder Bucks game tonight. Whatever, they wouldn't care. But the thing that gets me is like I know like even though stuff is legal here in Illinois, I still do offshore stuff because I want the best price.
Right.
And offshore is and I know you do offshore in Arkansas. Completely.
We just got online like through an app. Like the first ones like just started popping up.
Okay, all right, but you're probably
I'm still I'm still like 100%.
You want the best price, and offshore is completely like whatever. Like everything's they do the stuff in crypto. You don't have to know anything.
Yeah,
that's number one. Number two, hypothetically. Let's say now you kind of give off a punter vibe. let's say you're the punter for the Buccaneers, and we're
I
out
don't,
and I'm your boy, and you just say, "Hey, E, why don't you download this app? You know, throw 50K that my boys are gonna win."
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
why not just do
yeah.
that? But you put in your own goddamn mother effing name.
So so I will say, I've had some demoralizing things said to me, and me putting off a punter vibe might be the most demoralizing thing that I've heard this week.
Nah, dude, you can have a little putter vibe going, dude.
I get it. Yeah,
You
I
know,
see it.
you got the arm tattoo, you got the beard, you got the trucker hat, dude. You got a little you got a little punter vibe going, dude.
I would 100% have stood on the bench to watch the halftime show this year. I give off big kicker energy. Okay. Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it now. No, all right. So here's the thing. Like you said, it's like the whole thing of like he's just like the only person who can't take part. It's not like we're telling they're like IHOP cooks that we're just like, don't even look at a motherfucking pancake. Don't you dare look at a pancake. I'll suspend you for this IHOP for forever if you look at a pancake. Just
You going to
let
Walker
Calvin.
Brothers? Why are you going to Walker Brothers? Why are you going to Walker Brothers? It makes zero sense for you to go to Walker Brothers. You know what I mean? It's just like, it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, literally, it just doesn't make it. Like, I get it's the rules, but I guess like I'm looking at this now. I think Greg Hardy is a POS. I hate
Yes.
Greg Hardy. I'm not
Absolutely.
a Greg Hardy guy.
Yeah.
He got suspended for 10 games, reduced to 4. For what he did, 4 games.
Yeah.
4 games. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just mind-boggling to me. And don't get me wrong, I get it's the rules and everything. And I understand that the athletes are betting on themselves, like with their performance, and they get more money with how they do. But I just have a real problem with Ridley being suspended for a year and Hardy getting 4 games. That I guess that's my issue with the
Deal
whole
is
thing.
Hardy doesn't mess with the NFL's money and people's like
Yeah.
confidence in the league and that are seeing a game that happens on the up and up. That's the issue. I mean, and I get it. I get it. No one wants to feel like I'm not one of these people. Like I see it a lot. I read it a lot. I read it on social media. I hear angry comments that people are saying this person's throwing this game and this game is crooked and this race was crooked and this jockey did this. And I'm not one of those people. Like there are times where maybe I think something might be up there, but like I don't believe that it's rampant at this point. And is that naivete on my part? It might be. It possibly could be. But I don't know. I don't think the fact that sports gambling has been legalized should be a red flag that gambling might be a problem in the league. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. Here's something people might not be ready to hear. People have been gambling on sports since way before it was ever legalized to do in the United States, in different states outside of Nevada.
Way before. And like, God, I'm contemplating if I should tell this story or not.
Let me just say this. The injury report. Do you think the NFL would have an injury report if gambling wasn't involved?
No, not at all. I mean, gambling, and like, that's why you like look at stuff. Like in my eyes, that's why MLB is hurting, is because not many people gamble on it. You look at NFL, college football, boom, boom, boom. Even NBA.
Yeah.
March Madness. The most popular stuff, everything's driven by gambling.
Yeah.
And now you got, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, it's just gambling makes the world go round. And I get your point, but I guess like my point is the way my mind works is just kind of like, you know what I mean? I'm looking at what Hardy did and I'm looking at what Ridley did.
No,
and
for
I'm
sure.
going to let you guys know that there are people in every single league that gamble. Oh, I'll tell you this story. One of my friends, great football coach. He develops kids out on the on one of the coasts.
Yeah.
One of the coasts. He's he works with kids from about 12, 11 to when they go off to college. He's put guys in the league. He was telling me a story. Like I was out visiting him actually, and he gets a call, and son of a gun, you know, he put a bet in for a guy who may have been playing in a professional league, you know, and then the next day, you know, he may have had to give the guy money for,
Right.
because, you know, so you're just naive if you think people don't gamble.
Right.
Like you're just naive, because you know what, at the end of the day they do, and
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is. The one other thing, like, so my Eagle story. So I have a friend, he you know, does some security stuff, no big deal, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
um does some stuff for the for some, like, some big wigs. He does some stuff for some Eagles players, and Eagles won the Super Bowl. And he's like, "Hey man, you know, why don't you come out? You know, I can get us on the field for that first Thursday night game after they won the Super Bowl." I'm like, "Sure, I'm in." I wanted to go to the bar that the Philly special was named after.
Gotcha.
I didn't know the day he was taking me, it was drag queen night. So like we pull into this bar and he's like grinning like ear to ear. And I'm kind of looking, I'm like, dude, like what the fuck is going on here? Like, so in my head, I
These
have
ladies are
something
sure wearing a lot of makeup.
we go in, and I'm like, dude, like I'm like these like, first I'm like, what, where am I right now? It's like, dude, it's like a huge it was like a $500 contest.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an experience, man. Definitely, that was my only Philly. That's the only time I've been in Philly.
Yeah.
Field at a game for the Eagles and in a drag bar.
Hell yeah.
That
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's what you only call a Tuesday, but
Yeah.
for me that was a big deal, man.
Listen, I'm there for the art. I'm there for the show ladyship. I guess I can't say. Well, yeah, showmanship technically. Yeah.
Showmanship.
Yeah.
Dude, great time talking, man. You know, we covered a
Of
lot of
course.
stuff. We talked a little JLo working out, gave out some NFL futures,
Yeah.
talked about you know, everything going on in the NFL. March Madness, great time of the year. Dude, I didn't know if I told you this. I'm gonna be going to the first round games up in Milwaukee.
Hell yeah. That
I
sounds
mean,
fun, man.
look at this guy. So
Maybe
I'm
we'll get
gonna
a
be,
Razorback in your region. You can carry the banner for me, my man.
dude, my perfect scenario is my South Dakota State Jackrabbits play the Houston Cougars, and I'm there with my Jackrabbit gear on, the only one in Pfizer Forum, and I'm gonna allow like, I haven't drinked since I started this like diet I was telling you about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's probably gonna take 1.5 of, I don't know, of Milwaukee's finest, let's say.
Old Miller Lite. Yeah.
I mean, even though it's so watered down, to get the kid a little buzz, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
get a little
Yeah.
Jackrabbit fever going.
God,
Ooh,
man.
ooh,
That's when it
ooh.
only takes 1.5 to get extra. That's a good place to be,
Oh, dude,
especially in a stadium.
we call that the sweet spot.
Yeah. I never told you about the time I went to the Capital One Bowl, and it was the first time I had Leinenkugels, and I
Ooh.
had a lot of Leinenkugels. And by the third quarter, I was just yelling into the void, "This beer tastes like blueberries. How is this fair?" The little like teenage couple in front of us, and roughly the halfway through the first quarter was like, "We don't want to be rude, but you spilled your beer on us like 4 times."
Oh my god!
I didn't realize Arkansas had lost until there were triple zeros on the clock.
Oh my god, dude! You know what a fun game for a basketball game is? The Conference USA tournament's going on right now. I think it's at like the Williams Center in Frisco, Texas. This place is a huge auditorium, and it is so big. They have 2 games going on at once with like the curtain just in the middle.
Curtain in between?
Yeah. So like a game started like tonight. Someone may have won money on both first half unders. That's me. Maybe, I'm just saying. they're going on a half an hour increment, so you can just kind of wander back and forth.
That's awesome.
We went there a couple years ago, and I'll tell you what, it was kind of fun, man. I mean, get a little tanked in Texas, dude. Walking around with that, Budweiser down there, my friend.
Drink a little
and
Lone Star. So you got to get a little Lone Star beer.
little Lone Star.
Man, with the curtain, the official killer of 13-year-old boners because it separates the girls and boys gym classes.
But I mean, like, the thing is like a buzzer will go and you're kind of like looking and it's like the middle of the play. I'm telling you, it is like an experience. You're like, what? Like, what is going on? But no,
awesome.
it's definitely a different setup. I like it. It's just college basketball this time of year is just it's fun, man. It's
the
fun.
best.
It's
the best.
It is fun. And like that Chattanooga game, like, how would you feel? Like, because the game, I think it opened as a pick. It closed at Chattanooga like -1. Man, how would you feel if you had Furman last night, dude? You want to talk about just a bet that just rips your heart out
Jesus.
and just stomps on it? I mean,
Yeah.
I had Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, 20-1. I mean, they got it within 2, and then all of a sudden Klay Thompson and Steph Curry comes on the court and they just go 1 for 6 to close the game shooting threes. So I was never in it for my 1 for 20, but god damn, dude. That's just the bad beats you get this time of year with like the totals and the spreads.
Oh yeah.
They're just something. They are just something, man.
It just gets wild, man. It gets absolutely wild. Like you can't. It's the one thing is we don't have a metric for somebody's just will to win, and that's what carries a lot of these teams this time of year is just somebody's will to win.
I mean, speaking of will to win, the last thing we're going to talk about, I'm pulling this sucker up right now. We got the SEC tournament starting. We have the Arkansas Razorbacks. Now, I believe off the top of my head, I think we got a little rematch against LSU to start. Is that true, my friend?
Yeah, and who knows if Will talking criminal conspiracy on the phone, Wade is going to be even coaching for LSU during the games. They just had a big time bombshell release on Will Wade.
I missed this. Why was it?
Oh yeah, they have like big time charged LSU with like failure to comply or lack of institutional control or whatever, which means I think they can actually fire Will Wade with cause and not have to pay him before all this stuff comes out. Yeah, that's what I read on SI. I might be oversimplifying it, but there's like a big time thing into it, and it stems from him being caught on a wiretap a couple of years ago.
So basically, the moral of the story is you need to have what Bruce Pearl had in Chuck Persons, a fall guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, don't talk about the phone.
So it's looking like LSU is going to play the winner, Ole Miss, Missouri. I mean, Missouri may fight, upset Ole Miss. LSU's through, hypothetically. Yeah. We have LSU and Arkansas game after 7, so the late game on Friday night prime time, dude. A little high life watching that bad boy.
Yeah.
Like, do you think they can get through that game?
I do. Okay. I mean, you look at how they fought to the end of that Tennessee game. Like that Tennessee game shouldn't have been anywhere near as close as it was.
That was really impressive.
So
I really impressive.
I honestly, I think we got the fight to beat anybody in the country right now.
Now, let's move on. The next game after that, it'd be in the semifinals against Auburn. Now, this is my one worry, and I how much I hate Bruce Pearl.
Yeah.
You know how much I hate the Auburn basketball team, but my one worry is that game that they won, Arkansas was just dominating on the glass. That's my one worry.
Yeah.
That's my worry with them.
That's a tough game. I think that Auburn away from home is a paper tiger, though.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that completely. And it's kind of like a lot of teams in the SEC fall under that category this year.
Yeah.
So you look at the bottom, you got Mississippi State against South Carolina. Mississippi State's the same way.
Mhm.
Rock at home, not that good on the road. They go
Mhm.
to play Tennessee. You and I have talked about Tennessee before. My issue with Tennessee is they elite defense, but they have these 5 4-minute stretches where they just can't score.
Yeah, just can't score at all. Yeah.
And when you play a team like Arkansas or like Auburn from the top that has the explosive playmakers, you have to be able to score. You
Yeah.
have to
If
be
you
able
don't
to.
if you don't score for a 4 or 5 minute span, they're going to go up by 20.
Yeah. Yep. And then the bottom of the bracket, long shot wise, is interesting for me. It's
Mhm.
like it's really interesting for me because you got Vanderbilt, who has Scottie Pippen Jr., who I think is an elite talent,
Mhm. Mhm.
and if he gets hot, he can put a team on his back.
Right.
On the flip side of that, you have Alabama, who pure per shot quality, which I love,
Yeah.
is underachieved this year,
Mhm.
and in terms of 3-point, had some of the worst 3-point luck in the country.
Sure.
Those two teams to me are dangerous. They're very dangerous just because of those two factors. And I
Yeah.
could see them getting on the run. But then I also heard that no team outside the top four has made the semifinals of the SEC tournament in like 10 years.
That sounds about right. I will
So
say
it just
I will say though, I mean, I hate to keep talking about drag queens, but Alabama does have that one kid that kind of looks like Beyonce.
I got called an asshole by my fiance once.
That's so so Janet Jackson and Beyonce. That's amazing.
Jackson and Beyonce. This was years ago. I was out in California again,
Yeah.
and their first song was "No, No, 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 No," and
Mhm. Mhm.
the lyrical genius Wyclef Jean was in that
Mhm.
video.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And
We all had copies of the Carnival Dog. It's all right.
I may have seen her at a mall
Uh,
and
uh,
gone up to her and said, "Oh my God, you're the girl in the Wyclef video." She looked me dead in the face and goes, "No, asshole, he's in my video," and walked away from me. Hey, you know
yeah.
what? There's few people in this world that can say they've been called an asshole by Beyonce and Janet Jackson.
And that's when you knew she was headed straight to the top.
That's when I knew she was going to be Mrs. Jay Z right there. That's what I said to myself. I could see Jay Z saying, "You'll always be my sunshine" to her.
Yes.
So um, so great. We have a great weekend of sports coming up. Chase and I will be tweeting our plays and everything. You have a horse racing show that comes out every Wednesday.
Yep. Divine and the
Um,
dog.
yeah. Why don't you tell everyone what you're going to be doing this week and what time it is?
Sure, we'll have a little recap of we had a little prep storm with the Kentucky Derby preps last week, so we'll have a little recap of the Gotham Stakes, the Fountain of Youth, the San Felipe from Santa Anita. We'll take a look forward at to the Tampa Bay Derby this Saturday, and general banter. We'll just banter back and forth. We like to chop it up, if you will.
So, son of a bitch, the Tampa Bay Derby's this week.
Yep. Yep.
God damn it! I'm gonna be betting fucking Tampa Bay Downs this weekend, man.
That's man, it's a bad. It's granted, Oakland's been rough the last couple weeks, but so I might even look at it. But yeah, Tampa Bay Derby.
Tampa Bay
It's
Derby, man. Tampa Bay
guaranteed. This
Derby.
this happens every Tampa Bay Derby. Is someone falls in love with a horse that wins the Tampa Bay Derby, and that horse fails to do anything for the rest of its career, and they're still just throwing money at it like it could run back to that form.
Trending in the right direction. He had a good workout. Let's go.
That's right.
Chase, dude, always a pleasure. We'll be here every week, just shooting the shit, talking about sports. I why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on Twitter? I'm going to be turning you into an Instagram model soon.
That's right.
We'll work on that. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on Twitter?
You can always find me being abrasive on Twitter at of Oaklawn. That's OF and the word Oaklawn. Some people think it's of. It's actually OnlyFans Oaklawn is what that's short for. But it's at of Oaklawn. And yeah, I've got doing that. I've got let's see, this Friday I'm going to be doing like USFL mock draft with the guys from the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Rod Villagomez, I believe, hosting that one. And yeah, just staying busy.
My man, I look forward to next week, man. Let's cash some tickets. Let's make some money, and let's put in those Falcons futures, buddy. Let's get those Matt Ryan. Let's start doing the Dirty Bird, dude. I have a Jamal Anderson jersey somewhere, man. Let's break it out.
I still do the Dirty Bird. Look at that. That's how you Dirty Bird.
Doing that, I throw out my back, man.
It's not good. It's not good. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.